Welcome to the students of first PUC. This is session 6 of chapter 5, laws of motion. This will be the last session of this chapter. We will be solving some numericals related to this chapter. Let me begin with a numerical related to law of conservation of momentum. Here is the first question. A gun weighing 1000 kg recoils with velocity 0.03 meter per second when a shell of mass 1 kg is shot. If the shell hits the target in 8 seconds, find the distance of the target. So, this is the question being given. This was being asked in the 2015 annual paper. So, let us solve this. The data given is there is a gun whose mass is 1000 kg from which a shell of 1 kg is being fired. When the shell was being fired, the recoil speed of the gun is 0.03 meter per second. So, the shell is being fired and it hits a target, and the time taken to hit the target is 8 seconds. We are actually supposed to find the distance travelled by the shell. If you want to find the distance travelled by the shell, we also need to find the speed of the shell when it is fired. Before firing, both the gun and the shell were at rest. So, initial speed of the gun and the shell both are going to be 0. Now, let us use law of conservation of momentum and finally find out what is the speed of the shell when it was being fired and what is the distance it travelled. From law of conservation of momentum, we have mass of the gun and initial speed of the gun plus mass of the shell and initial speed of the shell is equal to mass of the gun into final speed of the gun plus mass of the shell into final speed of the shell. This is 0 because initial speed of the gun as well as the shell were 0. So, on rearranging, we will get the final speed of the shell when it was being fired is equal to mg VGF divided by, and of course it is negative. If you are supposed to find only the magnitude, then I can take it as positive. So, this is going to be equal to 1000 kg, the mass of the gun, into velocity of the gun 0.03 meter per second divided by mass of the shell is 1 kg. So, we will get the speed of the shell when it was being fired is going to be equal to 30 meter per second. We know the speed of travel. Now, we can find out what is the distance of travel as the time of travel is being mentioned. The distance travelled by the shell is x, which is equal to the speed of the shell into the time taken to hit the target. So, this is going to be equal to 30 into 8 meters. This will give us 240 meters. Finally, we will conclude by noting down a statement as the distance of the target is 240 meters. The distance of the target is 240 meters from the gun. This completes first numerical. Let us move on to the next one. Here is the second numerical. A body of mass 1 kg initially at rest explodes and breaks into 3 fragments of masses in the ratio 1:1:3. The 2 pieces of equal mass fly off perpendicular to each other with a speed of 30 meter per second each. What is the velocity of the heavier fragments? To understand the numerical being given, let us note down the data and look into the diagram. The diagram here explains the second numerical being given. We have a particle of mass 1 kg. It explodes into 3 fragments. Let us consider the 3 fragments fly away in 3 different directions. The masses of these 3 fragments m1, m2 and m3 are in the ratio 1:1:3, which means the mass m1 is going to be equal to mass m2 and the third fragment is 3 times the mass m1. Next, M1 and M2 fly away with speed of 30 meter per second and they are making an angle of 90 degree between them. Find the speed of the third particle. We will now apply law of conservation of momentum. From our experience, we can say the momentum component along the positive x-axis will have to be equal and opposite to the momentum component along the negative x-axis. So, these two momentum components will have to cancel out, so that the net of these two momenta is going to be 0, because before explosion the object was in rest, which means its momentum before explosion is 0. So, even after explosion the total momentum has to be conserved, which means the addition of momenta of these three particles will have to be 0. Let us solve the problem. Before explosion the particle was at rest, therefore the momentum is 0. After explosion, using law of conservation of momentum, we get m3 v3 plus m1 v1 cos 45 degree plus m2 v2 cos 45 degree is equal to 0. As the total momentum before explosion was 0, the total momentum after explosion will also have to be 0. Let us solve this further. That leads to m3. In place of m3, I can note down as 3 times of m1 into v3 is going to be equal to minus of m1 v1 cos 45 degree plus m2 is equal to m1 and v2 is equal to v1, therefore plus m1 v1 cos 45 degree. So, this implies 3 m1 into v3 is equal to minus of 2 times of m1 v1 cos 45 degree. m1 and m1 are common, we can cancel them out, and v3 is going to be equal to minus of 2 by 3 into v1 cos 45 degree. v1 is 30 meter per second, so let us substitute here. This is going to be equal to minus of 2 by 3 into 30 into cos 45 is 1 by root 2, 3 ones are 3 tens are. This is going to be equal to 2 by root 2. I will get it as minus of 10 into root 2. On further simplification, I will get the answer v3 is equal to minus 14.14 meter per second. The negative sign here signifies that the velocity of the third component was in the negative x direction. We will move on to the next problem. Here is the next numerical. A mass of 4 kg is suspended by a rope of length 3 meter from the ceiling. A force of 30 Newton in the horizontal direction is applied at the midpoint of the rope. What is the angle the rope makes with the vertical in equilibrium? Take G is equal to 10 meter per second square and neglect the mass of the rope. The numerical here, the diagram is also been given. So, let us solve the numerical. It is based on equilibrium of an object. This is the diagram being given. We will be solving the numerical using this diagram. We are supposed to find the angle theta between the vertical and the rope through which the mass is being suspended. In the diagram here, whenever a mass is being suspended to a rope, there is tension acting in it, and here let us take the tension here as T1. The tension is because of the weight of the object, is given by m into g. The weight of the object is acting downwards, then the tension is generally acting in the reverse direction. From this diagram, we will be making two free body diagrams further. Here in the diagram, at the center of the mass there are two forces acting. One is the weight acting vertically down and the tension T2, which is equal and opposite to the weight of the object. Therefore, I can write from the diagram T2 is equal to the weight of the object, which is m into g, and mass is 4. Here they have mentioned that we can take acceleration due to gravity as 10. So, 4 into 10, it will give us 40 Newton. Let me take this as equation 1. Next, at the point O, at point O we have the tension T1 acting along the rope, the tension T2 acting downwards, and the horizontal force, which is 30 Newton. Now, what we will do to solve or to find the angle theta, we will resolve T1 into two rectangular components. T1 along the vertical will give us, if this is theta, then this is T1 cos theta, and along the horizontal this is going to be T1 sin theta. The component attached to theta is going to be cos theta and the other component is going to be the sin theta component. From this diagram we will further solve. Also along the vertical, T1 cos theta is equal to T2, which implies T1 cos theta is equal to 40 Newton. Let me take this as equation 2. Along the horizontal, T1 sin theta is equal to 30 Newton. Let me take this as equation 3. By dividing equation 3 by 2, we will get the answer for angle theta. Equation 3 by equation 2, we get T1 sin theta divided by T1 cos theta equal to 30 by 40. T1 and T1, the commons can be taken out. Sin theta by cos theta is tan theta, and here we will get tan theta is equal to 3 by 4. On solving this, we will get this as 0.75, and theta is going to be equal to tan inverse of 0.75. On using the mathematical table, we will get tan inverse of 0.75 as very nearly equal to 36.87 degree. We have finally solved the numerical. Let us proceed further. Here is the next numerical. A stone of mass 250 gram tied to the end of a string is whirled in a circle of radius 1.5 meter with a speed of 40 revolutions per minute in horizontal plane. What is the tension in this string? Calculate the maximum speed with which a stone can be whirled if the string can withstand a maximum tension of 200 Newton. So, this is a numerical been asked in the 2016 supplementary paper. Let us solve this. This is related to circular motion. Here is the numerical been given. There is a stone which is in circular motion. For any object to be in circular motion, there has to be a centripetal force, which is a force which keeps the object in circular motion, and it is always acting towards the center of the circle. Here the stone is tied to the thread, and the tension in the thread is what is providing the centripetal force. We have already studied from chapter 3, which is motion in a plane, that centripetal acceleration represented by A subscript C is given by V square by R, where V is the speed of motion, which can further be written as 4 pi square F square into R. where f is the frequency of revolution or the number of cycles per second. The frequency of revolution is given as 40 revolutions per minute. SI unit is second and not minute. So, convert this revolutions per minute into revolutions per second. How? Divide 40 by 60. As every minute is equal to 60 seconds, divide this by 60, we will get it as 0.667 RPS, which is revolutions per second. We have the radius. Now, let us calculate the centripetal acceleration. So, this is going to be equal to 4 into 3.14 square into 0.667 square into 1.5. We will get the answer for this as 26.32 meter per second square. Acceleration has a unit of meter per second square. Now, from this we can find out what is the centripetal force, which implies the centripetal force, which is equal to the tension in the string, is going to be equal to mass of the stone into centripetal acceleration. Mass is given as 250 grams, convert to kgs because SI unit is kgs, divide this by 1000, we will get the answer as 0.25 kg. Therefore, centripetal acceleration, which is equal to tension, is 0.25 into 26.32 newtons, and the answer is going to be equal to, we will get the answer here as 6. So, we have found out the tension in the string, which is equal to the centripetal force 6.58 Newton. The second half asks as what is the maximum speed that the stone can be revolved with, so that the rope does not break, and it is given that the rope can withstand a maximum tension of 200 newtons. The maximum tension that the rope can withstand is 200 newtons. Equate this maximum tension to the maximum centripetal acceleration. We are supposed to find the maximum speed with which the stone can be whirled. So, centripetal acceleration is V square by R. Let me take this as V max square is equal to 200 Newton. On simplification, we will get the maximum velocity possible is going to be equal to R into 200 divided by m. This is square. This is going to be root of R into 200 by m. Let us solve this. So, the maximum speed of revolution is going to be equal to root of 1.5 into 200 divided by 0.25. This will give us root of 1.5 into 200 will give us 300 by 0.25, and this is going to be equal to root of 1200. So, root of 1200 is going to be equal to 34.64 meter per second. This is the maximum speed of revolution that is possible using the rope given. Here is the last numerical, and this was been asked in the 2019 annual examination. A circular racetrack of radius 200 meter is banked at an angle of 10 degree. If the coefficient of friction between the wheels of the race car and the road is 0.15, what is the optimum speed of the race car to avoid wear and tear on its tires? Maximum permissible speed to avoid slipping. Given acceleration due to gravity on the earth is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. A similar numerical was been solved in the previous session as well. We will solve even this one similarly. The data is already been noted down. Let us solve the numerical. We know that the optimum speed of travel is given by root of R into G tan theta. So, this is going to be equal to root of radius of the circular path is 200 meters into G is 9.8 into tan 10 degree. We will get this as 200 into 9.8. 200 into 9.8 is 1960, and tan 10 degree, using your mathematical table, you will get this as 0.1763. On solving this, we will get the answer as 18.5 0.59 meter per second. We have finished the first part of the numerical. The second one, we are supposed to find the maximum speed of travel without slipping. Let us note down the equation. Maximum speed of travel without slipping is given by V max, which is equal to root of R into G into mu s plus tan theta divided by 1 minus mu s tan theta. Let's substitute the values. This will give us root of 200 into 9.8 into coefficient of static friction is 0.15 plus tan 10 degree, we had already noted it down, it is 0.1763 divided by 1 minus 0.15 into 0.1763. Solve this, we will get the answer for maximum permissible speed at 25.63 meter per second. This finishes the numericals. That's all for this session. Thank you.